Hey everyone, and welcome back to AI Podcast. I'm Brian, and with me again is Kathy to talk all things AI.
Always a pleasure to be here, Brian.
And we've got a really special deep dive lined up for you guys tomorrow evening on, well, a brand new AI technology that's gonna, well, I think it's gonna really blow some minds.
I can't wait.
Yeah, but first things first, got to catch you guys up on everything that happened last week. So much has happened. I mean, it seems like every single day there's, three new AI stories, and it's hard to even keep up with it all.
Right, it's moving so fast.
Yeah, Kathy, where do you want to start?
Well, let's start over in India. The state of Kerala is trying to become a global hub for ethical AI.
Ethical AI. That's not something you hear every day.
Not really, no.
Most governments are still trying to just figure out AI, in general.
Just grasp the basics, yeah.
Yeah, let alone, all the ethical implications.
Yeah, but Kerala is really taking a proactive approach, building ethical considerations right into their AI strategy. They're focusing on data privacy, they're looking at algorithmic transparency, and making sure that AI is used for good.
Okay, so it's not just building it responsibly. It's using it to solve real-world problems.
Exactly.
So what kind of things are they focusing on?
So they're looking at healthcare, agriculture, even in governments. I mean, imagine AI systems that can help farmers to optimize their crop yields, or platforms that streamline healthcare in these rural areas.
Oh, wow.
It's really quite exciting what they're doing over there.
Yeah, and it seems like, it could really attract new talent and investment if they're, at the forefront of this movement.
Absolutely, it sets them apart.
Speaking of investment, Meta seems to be doubling down on their efforts in India too. They're putting in a ton of undersea cables to really beef up the internet connectivity across the whole country.
And that matters for AI, right? All these data-intensive applications like your 5G networks, your cloud computing needs.
And the AI itself.
And AI itself, yeah, they all need fast, reliable internet, and this is laying the groundwork for that.
Yeah, it's almost like setting up, the very foundation that all of this is going to be built on.
The infrastructure, yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, let's switch gears just a little bit and talk about something that's been all over the news lately. ChatGPT. 400 million weekly active users, Kathy.
That's incredible.
That's a lot of people.
Huge.
Yeah, I mean, I think about, Instagram. It took them years to get to that number.
Yeah, and it really shows the explosive growth that we're seeing in generative AI. ChatGPT has captured the public imagination, and people are finding all kinds of ways to use it.
But with that comes a lot more scrutiny, right?
Oh, absolutely. The more widely these tools are used, the more pressure there is to make sure that they're being used responsibly. And, it's not just OpenAI. This is a conversation that the entire industry is having as this technology develops.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to something a little bit more positive. I was reading about how NVIDIA is using AI to actually help the deaf and hard of hearing community.
Yeah, this is really cool. They've developed this platform that can actually teach and interpret American Sign Language, and they're using machine learning to do it.
Wow. I mean, I can only imagine how much this could change people's lives, for people who rely on sign language to communicate.
It's a fantastic example of how you can use AI to break down barriers and make things accessible for everyone. And, it reminds us that this technology can really have a positive impact.
All right, well, this next story is, well, it's a little bit creepy, to be honest. Have you heard about these invisible AI agents?
I have.
Yeah, tell me about these.
So these are basically autonomous AI programs that run in the background. They can do all sorts of tasks with, very little human oversight.
So like little AI ninjas working behind the scenes.
Pretty much.
What's the issue with that?
Well, because they're invisible, they could potentially be hacked, they could be misused. Think about it, an AI that you can't see, doing things that you don't know about, that can be a little unsettling, right?
Yeah, it seems like the more autonomous we make these systems, the more we really got to think about the security implications.
Absolutely. Finding that balance between, having these powerful autonomous systems and making sure they're used safely and ethically, it's a constant conversation.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Well, speaking of powerful, Together AI just got a ton of funding, like $305 million, to develop these reasoning models. What are those?
So, for a while we thought AI would get more efficient, need less computing power as it got smarter, right? These reasoning models, they actually need more resources, even more than the previous generations.
So more power, more problems? Is that what we're saying?
Well, not necessarily problems, but definitely a bigger demand for really powerful hardware. This funding, it really highlights that global chip shortage that we've been talking about and how important companies like NVIDIA are becoming.
It all goes back to those GPUs, right?
It does.
Yeah. Now let's circle back to OpenAI for a second. Remember we were talking about ChatGPT. Their corporate structure is kind of weird, right? They're for profit but also nonprofit, and it seems like it's causing some tension.
It's a unique model and it's definitely attracted a lot of funding and talent. But as they get bigger, that model's getting more scrutiny.
Yeah, I bet. It can't be easy to keep investors happy while also, sticking to their original mission.
Right? Making sure AI benefits humanity. Yeah, it raises questions about, how do you balance profit and ethical development?
Hmm. Yeah. Well, that leads us to the humane AI pin, which is, well, it's a sad story, actually.
Yeah, this was going to be a revolutionary device, a screen-free AI assistant you could wear. But there were challenges.
Like what?
Well, people weren't really adopting it, the battery life wasn't so great, and there were some performance issues. Unfortunately, they're shutting down in just 10 days.
10 days. Wow. What a tough ending for something that had so much potential. I mean, what do you think this says about AI hardware, looking ahead?
I think it's a reminder that not every AI venture is going to be successful.
Right.
Especially with hardware, it's really challenging.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a fast-moving field.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the hype, but there are real-world limitations.
There are, yeah.
Okay, well, one last thing before we wrap up this first part of our news roundup. Meta's expanding their presence even more in India, opening a new office. And they're on a hiring spree, specifically for AI roles.
Yeah, they are.
What's the deal with India, Kathy? Why are they so focused there?
It's one of their fastest growing markets. India is becoming a global hub for AI, tons of talented engineers and researchers there, and the government is really supportive of AI.
So it's like Meta's going right to the source.
Exactly.
Right where the action is, where all the talent is.
Absolutely. But they're not alone. You've got Google, you've got Microsoft, you've got all these homegrown Indian startups. Everybody wants in on this.
Yeah, it's getting pretty competitive.
It really is. It's exciting.
Yeah. Okay, well, folks, that's it for our AI news roundup this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We've got another deep dive coming your way tomorrow evening on, we're still keeping it a secret, but it's a new AI technology that we think you're going to love. So make sure you tune back in.
It's going to be a good one.
We'll see you then.